Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video, and we are playing with scraps now pretty much. I have pretty much done all of the collaborations at this point that you'll see this month, although some of them are still coming up. And I've done all of the layouts from the Close to My Heart booklet, so now I just get to play with my own designs. On this one, I really wanted to try and use the corner pieces of that rainbow stripe that I had trimmed up when I needed to make this horizontal stripe a diagonal for the Scrap 5 challenge. I really wanted to make sure I used those diagonal pieces and they didn't go to waste just because I needed one piece of the middle of this paper. So I decided to do this corner design. I'm using this navy so I have some nice contrast and some more subtle patterns since I have the rainbow stripe on both corners. So this is what I'm starting with for this design. I have one photo here you can see of Avery. He's got his little baby sunglasses on. This is when he and his mom, my sister, were sitting outside together, and I really just wanted to use this photo by itself on a page just to document how cute he is. And he really loves outside. Like, he will sit, you can sit in front of a window with him and he will just watch the trees and the birds all day long. So I really wanted to document that. I just want to use scraps for the remainder of this layout. So I used my 12 by 12 blue, but I got the scraps of these rainbow corners used up. And then just off screen, I have my scrap pile. So I'm just going to be pulling from that scrap pile to layer up around this photo. And I really want there to be a lot of layers, but not in a busy way. So I'm starting out with this white floral pattern with little red flowers on it. And then I'm just going to alternate with a couple of the scraps that I have. So now that I did a more white layer, I want a more solid layer. So I'm doing this light blue floral. And then I will use another scrap of the rainbow stripe behind that to mat the whole photo. You can see both of those scraps weren't big enough to go entirely around the photo. I like doing that in my layers. I think it adds some interest. But if I do that too much, it looks a little bit too... I don't even know what the word would be, but I like throwing in some mats when I do this that do go all the way around. So I'm playing with this papaya colored scrap here, but that's when I decided to go in and do the rainbow stripe first, and then I will go in with that yellow scrap after that. But I'm just trying to alternate my more white patterns with my more solid colored patterns, and then I'm inking everything in my blue Catherine Pooler ink. And that's really all I'm doing. So at this point, I made the 4 layouts that I made that weren't for collaboration and weren't from the Close to My Heart booklet. I made all of those layouts while Zooming with a bunch of my friends from Redefine Creative. So when we have our Secret Not Secret scrap party weekends every month, there's Zoom rooms you can sign into and kind of scrapbook online with everybody. And I'd only done it once before because I find sometimes I just get too distracted and I can't focus when I'm like chatting and everything. But for whatever reason, I was feeling froggy and I was like, I'm going to sign on and see if I can scrapbook with them. And I was so productive this time. I was really proud of myself. So this is the first layout I made while I was on Zoom. To be honest, I kind of went on autopilot and I just I just stuck things together and didn't think too much about it, which I find was kind of helpful. I think that's why I got so much done while I was on Zoom with them, because I just didn't let myself get stuck on certain elements. I just kind of glued things together while we were chatting and it didn't pay too much attention. Here again, I'm using some more scraps of that papaya color. I just wanted one more pop of color before I glued this down. But this is pretty much the paper layers behind the photo. And that photo, as you can see, I'm going to layer in the bottom right hand corner. And then I want to do a little bit of embellishment in the upper left hand corner. But I want this navy diagonal area to kind of stay simple. So you have that grounding area because there is so much going on in both corners. So that's my goal here. I definitely want to use some more stickers from my sticker sheet. There's a ton left on my second sticker sheet since I got 2 sheets of that. So I'm trying to definitely pull that in as much as possible. You can see I'm pulling in another hello title. That's what I'm trying to say. That hello was a title on one of the Close to My Heart pages that I did. But I really wanted to use it in a different way here. I'm still popping it up on some foam. I love the dimension that that adds, but I'm going to run it vertically between my photo and the edge of the page in that gap. I think it fills out that corner nicely. It covers up more of that rainbow stripe, and it's just so colorful. This is kind of, I'm surprised at myself this month, I'll be honest, because you guys know I kind of get nervous when I do multicolor layouts, and then this collection is so colorful, but it's been so easy to use. I've been doing all of these multicolor layouts all month long, so I'm going for it. We're getting all the colors on here, and elements like this that have the title that just have all of the colors of the collection in it, same with the rainbow stripe, really makes it easy to just use all the products, because everything goes, everything coordinates, because you already have a pattern that includes everything. So I got that title stuck down. I definitely want some embellishment in the lower left-hand corner of that photo. I just think that would naturally look the nicest. And I'm thinking if I have a cluster down there, I will have a little cluster in the upper right-hand corner of the photo. So the photo itself has embellishment on opposite corners, but that way when I add my embellishment up in the upper left-hand corner of the page, that creates a visual triangle as well. So that's my goal. I did decide before I went too far that I wanted to add a branding strip. I have a couple branding strips left, but I have two of these blue ones, and I really thought it would be a nice edge to add between the rainbow stripe corner and the blue paper. So I just distressed the edge of it, and I'm running that along the underside of that diagonal piece. I'm going to do that on both sides, even though you only see a little bit of it behind the photo. I think that's a really nice touch. So I did go in and add that. I'm just distressing them now and trimming them to the right sizes, but I think that adds a nice little touch, and I think it's a nice transition from the rainbow to the more solid colored navy. So that's what I decided to do, and I'm always happy when I get to use up more branding strips, so this is good. I used up like 1.5 of that blue branding strip, so I'm just gonna get it tucked in there now. That circular die cut piece you see to the left there was a scrap from the punch out camera that I had to put together for one of the close to my heart layouts. And I don't know why I saved it. I didn't think I was really going to use it, but then I saw that there's a largish camera on the sticker sheet, and I thought maybe if I used that camera as the embellishment cluster for the upper left hand corner, I could pop that lens, that circular piece up there up on some foam, and it would give the camera some dimension. So I'm really glad I ended up saving that. That's just like my biggest tip if you're trying to be frugal and get the most out of the collection. Like, save things you don't think you'll need to save until you're done with the collection, and then you can throw everything that's left over. But so many times I find that I end up using pieces that I really wanted to throw away, and I was like, no, just save it in case you want to use it. And then I end up using it, and it really makes the page look special. So I will end up doing that. I thought about doing this wood grain heart at first. I think that looks really sweet. But because so many of the scraps I have left over are more solid, I really felt like the solid brown of the heart, it was just too plain. There wasn't enough interest up there. So adding the camera that had a couple patterns and stuff like that, and then the dimension once I popped that lens up on some foam, it really kind of changed everything. I like how this heart looks up here. But I wasn't wanting to have to figure out how to balance the dark wood grain. There's a little bit of wood grain in the title, but other than that, there's no other wood grain, so I really didn't want to introduce it as an element. So I decided to just save the heart. I knew I would use that heart on a layout somewhere. I love hearts, so I knew if I saved it, I would use it. But I did want to try and use the sticker sheet as much as possible, so that's why I decided. Oh, I'm showing the ladies on Zoom my collection for next month. You guys get a sneak peek. That happened a lot too. It was not so fun editing all of these process videos where I was chatting with the ladies on Zoom while I was making them, because I keep pulling things in frame that have nothing to do with my current page to show them, and then I kind of get distracted. It did take me longer to do, and now I'm taking notes because the lovely ladies, I was on Zoom, it was Sharon, Debbie, Chris, Kim, Dana, and Amy, I think. Diana, I can't remember. But both Debbie and Sharon and Chris were all giving me really good ideas, and Kim, of how things I could add for my collection next month, because I kind of mentioned I have the paper that I want to use, but I don't really have any embellishment to go with it. So I was taking notes. I kind of showed them the collection. They were giving me really good ideas of things I could add. So that's what I was doing there when I was taking notes to the side. But now I'm back to my project here. Here's the camera. And now I'm just inking all of these layers. I like how the layers were looking. I just needed something that had more interest than the wood grain heart. So I think the camera is perfect. And now I'm just getting all these pieces glued together. I think that's so cute. I love that. And the camera has a lot of tone-on-tone blue, so I think it really goes well with the tone-on-tone blue branding strip I use, a tone-on-tone like navy background. So I just think that looked better. And now that's getting put up there. I just need to trim the pinky coral piece, and then that area of embellishment's pretty much done. I definitely do want to go in with some enamel dots, but I still need to figure out the cluster to the top of the photo. But this is what I meant about that scrap piece. So that circular punch out, that was a scrap from the camera. I'm popping that up on some foam. It's a little bit larger than I would have liked for this camera, but proportionally I think it ends up looking okay, because I've seen cameras with just massive, massive lenses, and so I think it doesn't look wrong. It's just bigger than the lens that was on there. And it looks kind of funny from this top-down view, but when you see it in person and from the side and you give that dimension of that lens, I just think that's so fun. So now that the upper left-hand corner is pretty much done, I'm going back to the sticker sheet to see what I can pull in for my last cluster. I really wasn't wanting to introduce any more like new, I don't know, complicated motifs. Like I wasn't wanting to pull in the bird or the stack of books or anything like that. But I think these colored paper clips have been a really fun embellishment to work with this month. So I just decided to layer up a couple of those, and that small coral colored one I popped up on some foam so that had some dimension too. And I think that's a nice simple little cluster for up there. Just add some more interest as well. And I do go back to the sticker sheet because I'm really trying to use as much of the sticker sheet with these last few pages as possible. And there are some like plain gray florals, like leafy bits, that I'll go in and add as well. So I can't see what I'm doing right now. I think I'm just chatting with the girls on Zoom. I thought I cut all of these out. Sorry, guys. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun chatting with them. Even when we weren't chatting, it was kind of nice because you just hear everybody scrapping and everyone's like paper trimmers and paper. And it was like ASMR, like scrappy ASMR. It was really nice, just background sound, even when we weren't talking. So it was really nice. I realized I forgot to ink that corally layer to the left of the photo, so I went back and added that. And now I'm trying to go back in and add some more stickers. There was one more paper clip I was really trying to find a place for because it was the last one on the sheet. But it just looked silly, kind of wherever I put it. It just looked like stuck on, and I didn't want to use it if it was going to be distracting. So I did go in with those florally bits and added that. And now I'm chatting with the girls on Zoom again. It's funny, like I'm talking with my hands even though they couldn't see my hands. I'm just chatting and playing with my paper scraps. I'm trying to figure out if I'm done, but I know for sure I go back and add some leafy bits from the sticker sheet. So I might just cut to where I go back to the sticker sheet. Okay, we're here. Never mind. So here are the leafy bits. Actually, these aren't the leafy bits. These are more I wanted to add to the lower left-hand corner cluster. I guess I haven't really even done that cluster yet. So I'm doing the blue banner that says best day ever, and then the pink text that says oh my heart, and I think that's really cute. I'm popping the oh my heart up on some foam, so there's dimension there, and I love that. But it's pink and some blue, and I really just felt like it needed some yellow, so I pulled in a scrap of the yellow, and I'm just trimming a banner into that to be an extra background layer. And then I'm inking that as well, of course, so that'll get tucked in there. And then I think I just wanted something else to beef out that lower cluster just because there's so much open space there. I go through my doily container and I have a scrap, like a little scrap of a doily that's like the perfect size for what I need it for, and I'll end up tucking that in there too. You can see it there. And I'm just going to end up trimming that and tucking it in just to add a little bit more detail and a little bit more white down there. Because these embellishments are yellow, blue, and pink, I felt like I needed a little bit more white in that area. So that little piece of doily really helps. And then do I add the leaves yet? I really keep feeling like it's the next thing I do, and then I don't. But I'm pretty sure I add the leaves now. I think there were like 3 leaf stickers, and I decided to just do 2 up by the 2 paper clips and then the 1 larger leafy bit down where I was just working. And I think that's cute. I was really trying to do good on the sticker sheet on this page, so I knew I went back and added some more. But now my stickers and embellishments pretty much done. I just want to add some corally orange enamel dots as my final touch. So those are going in my visual triangle where my 3 embellishment clusters are. And then I really don't have to say anything about this photo. I'm just documenting. Avery's obviously outside with his little baby sunglasses, but I do want to kind of say the story about how he does like being outside and watching outside. And since there is stripes on the page and there's not a whole lot going on in that upper left-hand corner, I decided to do my journaling underneath the camera just on the lines that are provided, which is nice. So I just said, you love being outside. I think you'd be happy watching the birds and the trees all day long. And then I added the date. And I think that's a nice little touch, and it fills out that area a little bit more. I think in hindsight, I should have used a navy pen. I just use black because it's my go-to, but I don't think it's too distracting. So here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next process video. Bye.